What is going on, everybody? My name is Noble, and today is a very special day. You guys have no idea how special it is. I actually don't have any idea what I really want to talk about in this video, but just give me 1 second. Today, the reason it's special is because today is the very first time that one NobleArcade has ever beaten Super Mario Brothers, which is ridiculous, I know. I don't really even know where to start. There's a few things I want to talk about, and then there's a few things that I thought everybody knew, and I just thought it was kind of funny that nobody knew about. But as you guys can see in the background, we've got some Super Mario Brothers from the NES, playing on the Switch, obviously, with the Pro Controller, and I got my very first console when I was 8 years old, guys. I've been playing Nintendo games since I was a child. I've played pretty much every system, even older systems. We had a Commodore, we had an Atari 2600, I think it was, and then the only thing that I really didn't have was a Sega Genesis or any of the Sega consoles, really. But as a kid, like, you don't really pay attention to games. Like, you play what you have because at the time, especially in my case, I kind of grew up not so much poor, but like we didn't have the money to just get whatever it was that we wanted. So I got my very first console, the NES, when I was 8 years old. I remember it so vividly. It was wintertime. It might have been just after Christmas, obviously. I think I would have probably gotten it as a Christmas present. And in our little house that I grew up in whenever I was a child, we had two rooms. We had my parents' room, and then we had a small room for me and my brother. And in the wintertime, it got really, really cold. It was an old house, the insulation wasn't all that great, and it rarely gets cold in Texas, but I remember that year it was especially cold, and we had a space heater that we had on in my parents' room, and during the wintertime, we all slept in that one room. We had this small, it probably was like a 26-inch CRT TV, and I remember every morning during the winter, I guess we were on winter break or something like that from school, we would turn on the heater, my mom would get up and go make some breakfast, we would have hot cocoa, my parents would play the news in the morning, and then immediately after that, I would turn on the NES. And at that time, the only game that I had was the combo that came with the NES, or my parents bought it as a combo. I'm not really sure how that worked back then, but it was Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. And I remember just playing the hell out of Super Mario's and Duck Hunt because that was the only game that I had at the time. But I just found it so interesting, so fascinating that you could control the character that was on screen. And all that time, since then, since that very first day that I got my NES until today, I have no idea what today is. Today is July 15th, 2019. I never ever beat Super Mario Brothers because, again, as a kid, like, you don't really know what you're doing. You're just playing the games that you have because that's the only thing that you've got. And I remember I'm not really sure how people found and spread the word about the warp pipes and how to get on top of the levels and stuff like that, but I remember whenever I figured that out, it was so amazing. And even though I used the warp pipes, I could only ever get to world, I think, 6, and I would die at the end of the castle each and every time, and I never got past that, so I never saw what the end of Mario Brothers was. And to be honest with you guys, I didn't really finish any games back then. I've never finished Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, and now that I've done this momentous thing, I really feel like I want to go back and try to beat those games as well. So this is just a very vivid memory for me, back to the day that I actually got the console, hooked it up, played through it, and just constantly died. Now, the thing that I wanted to touch on real quick, the thing that I thought everybody knew, because for some reason or another, and again, I'm not sure how I figured it out, I'm not sure how things spread whenever I was a kid, when there was no internet and stuff like that, but I always thought that everybody knew that if you held down the A button and pressed start, you could just continue from where you left off. Yes, you would go back to world whatever -1 of the world that you were on, but if you died on world 3-2 and you lost all your lives, all you had to do was hold down the A button and press start, and you would start right back on world 3-1 and then continue from there. And I just thought that was always a thing, and up until recently I had seen some posts online that people were surprised by that. So I thought that was amazing. I also thought it was amazing that nobody knew, or at least not a whole lot of people knew, that you could control the ducks in Duck Hunt if you had a second controller plugged into the Player 2 port. I just thought those things were two things that everybody knew about. I am starting to ramble just because, again, I had no idea what I was going to say in this video. I just am super excited that I finally, as a 30-something-year-old man, have beaten Super Mario Brothers. So I don't know, I may do more videos like this. Like I said, I never beat Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, any of that crap. And those games are still awesome in my eyes. So let me know what you guys think about this. If you guys are around my age, let me know what games that you got when you were a kid that you have never beat that maybe you want to go back to. And as always, I love you guys. Thank you guys for checking this video out. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, and we will see you guys on the next video. I'm just super pumped right now. Beat Mario Brothers. The ending sucked. It was just like, hey bro, you're done. What the hell kind of ending is that? I have no idea. Anyways, if I would have done it as a kid, I would have been amazed. Anyways, love you guys. I'm going to shut up now. I'll see you guys next time.